The reason why I wanted to end was he would get mad and he would start throwing things.
We were in a really dark place, honestly.
And now I understand why. It only takes a couple catastrophic events on a limited income, and you can soon find yourself homeless.
So every day in TV news, you would walk into people's lives and go behind the door that most of us don't get to see, the behind the scenes look. And we would meet people either on the best day of their life or the worst day of their life. And I cannot tell you how many times we would walk into somebody's house and they would say, I know this is wrong, this isn't fair, but where do I go? How do I get help? You know, they're low-income residents in Dallas County who just need a little leg up.
So I would have been one of the veterans you hear about on TV, and I always wondered myself, how does that happen? I never understood why.
It was the craziest thing, seeing your house, your dreams kind of in a trash can.
The Dallas Volunteer Attorney Program is a joint initiative of the Dallas Bar Association and Legal Aid of Northwest Texas.
People might not understand that there is no Sixth Amendment right to counsel outside of the criminal context. So if you're facing a dire legal situation that isn't criminal, you don't have access to free legal services as a matter of right like you do in the criminal context.
Since its founding in 1997, DVAP has become the largest and most comprehensive provider of free legal aid to low-income residents in Dallas.
Our story started with a dream that we wanted to buy a house and kind of make it our own.
They started doing the renovations by themselves, had some trouble, talked to a contractor, got upsold. The contractor basically promised the world, delivered nothing.
Whenever he came into our lives, he disintegrated like everything, dreams, hopes.
Finally, the contractor said, listen, let me just tear down your house and it will be easier, it will cost the same. I'm financing the whole thing anyway. He tore their house down and then he disappeared.
As far as DVAP, they've definitely been there. It's turned our life back to where we're heading forward again.
One day I was trying to get out of the house and he wanted to try to hold me hostage in the house, and that's when he flung me into a chair and I had to go to the hospital because my rib was bruised.
And we first met Lisa in February 2017. She came to our office and it was a very emotional meeting. She had gone through a really challenging experience with her husband. Ultimately, we obtained the objective that she wanted, which was that she would be divorced from an abusive spouse, that she would have custody of her child, that she would get the appropriate support for her child. And that's what we always wanted for Lisa. If somebody like DVAP doesn't step in and help folks like this, they can end up in a downward spiral that requires so much more in terms of social services. People can end up on the streets.
Mr. Davis was a person who had inherited property, got the title to the property, but the problem was he had not assumed the loan.
The original mortgage payment was $179, and I knew I was in trouble once the new statement started coming in of $800.
The way mortgages work, and you just have to figure it out and get to the result within the framework of the law.
Once you made one phone call, the threats and the intimidation stopped immediately.
It's a wonderful thing to give back because it's part of our calling.
Access to justice is hard to come by. There's less than one full-time legal services attorney for every 7,100 Dallas citizens living in poverty. That means if you filled AT&T Stadium to its maximum capacity, you'd have 11 attorneys to service them. And if each client received a single 30-minute session, it would take those attorneys nearly 5 months of round-the-clock work with no breaks just to meet with everyone.
To learn more about DVAP, visit www.dallasvolunteerattorneyprogram.org.
And what they need is they need lawyers, they need us, they need volunteers to help walk them through the process, to help show them that justice can be achieved, that justice is not just for the people that can afford to pay for legal services. Justice and democracy are for everyone.
Thank you, DVAP.